Now this is a time of national freedom, so share our love with someone. The 27th dawn of October, our nation is born.
Fellow Vincentians in the diaspora. On October the 27th, 2022, St. Vincent and the Grenadines celebrates and commemorates the 43rd anniversary of its reclamation of independence from the British. In 1763, the British colonialists, without invitation or consent from our Kalinago and Garifuna forebears, assumed suzerainty of our country and commenced the consolidation of their conquest and settlement of exploitation. For the succeeding 216 years, save and except for a 4-year period of occupation by France between 1779 and 1783, British colonialism ruled the political roost in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Undoubtedly, huge legacies of underdevelopment arising from colonial overrule persist in and shackle mightily the sustainable development of modern-day St. Vincent and the Grenadines. These terrible legacies and the limitations or weaknesses of our small island economy and adverse impacts of climate change severely hamper our nation's overall development. The Commission of Native Genocide and the enslavement of African bodies have prompted the legitimate demand by the Caribbean community, including St. Vincent and the Grenadines, for reparations from the colonizer country. The theme for Independence Day 2022 focuses on our people's resilience and fortitude. This thematic emphasis is apt given the extraordinary challenges of the past 2.5 years consequent upon the COVID-19 pandemic of March 2020 and continuing, the volcanic eruptions of April 2021, Hurricane Elsa of July 2nd, 2021, and the knock-on effects of the continuing and exacerbated global turmoil, inclusive of Russia's military aggression against Ukraine, initiated on February 24th, 2022. Objective assessments of the responses by the government and people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines to these extreme challenges have concluded that commendations are in order. Through bilateral and multilateral cooperation, the government has secured appropriate solidarity for immediate humanitarian and social safety net supports, in addition to material resources for worthwhile capital projects in pursuance of sustainable development, inclusive of building a modern, competitive, many-sided post-colonial economy. Moreover, from its own resources and in partnership with the private sector, the government has been a catalyst in accelerating socio-economic development. Further and most importantly, the government, in communion with the people and non-governmental organizations, has led the way in pursuit of a path of inclusive development consistent with equity and the ethical principles of fairness, justice, responsibility, and responsiveness. In the deep valley of convulsions, dislocation, and even despair, our people's resilience, fortitude, and fresh hope was summoned in aid of recovery and rebuilding. As we climb out of this treacherous valley onto the mountaintop of achievement, the evidence of much better times is at hand. This year, 2022, the economy will grow by 5%. Next year, 2023, economic growth is projected at 6%. And in 2024, economic growth of 4.8% is forecast. Our material well-being is on the mend. Before our very eyes, advances are being made in vital areas such as agriculture and fisheries, hotel development, the construction of a modern port, sea defenses and river defenses, school rehabilitation and construction, the building of a modern hospital, housing and community amenities, roads and bridges, renewable energy, telecommunications and water, the creative arts, sports and recreation, strengthening democracy, good governance, and the judicial system, and deepening regional integration. The government and people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines are now at a time of respair, R-E-S-P-A-I-R, an embrace of fresh hope after a period of immense difficulties for our nation. This fresh hope is conjoined with an abiding faith, made manifest in works and an unbreakable love for country, a love that looks on tempests and is never shaken. In all this, the following will see us to victory: our resilience, our existential spirit to triumph over seemingly impossible odds, our hard and smart works, our strength of commitment to bedrock values of upliftment, and our reaffirmation that this nation is founded on the belief in the supremacy of God and the freedom and dignity of man and woman. Morning by morning, new mercies we see. Great is his faithfulness. Happy anniversary of independence, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I big up the diaspora.
Now this is a time of national freedom, so yeah, I love it. I'm on the 27th dawn of October, our nation is born.